details of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas are emerging. Israel's cabinet has approved a ceasefire deal with the Hamas militant group that would bring a temporary halt to a devastating war that has stretched on for over 6 weeks now. Under the deal, Hamas is all set to free some 50 of the roughly 240 hostages it is holding in the Gaza Strip over a 4-day period. The Israeli government has said. It also added that it would extend the lull by an additional day for every 10 hostages released. Ahead of Wednesday morning's cabinet vote, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also added that Israel would resume its offensive against Hamas after the ceasefire expires. The government said the first hostages to be released would be women and children. For more on this, we have our colleague Gursimran, who is reporting live from Tel Aviv. Gursimran, could you please tell us, this could be a major breakthrough in the ongoing Israel versus Hamas war, which started on the 7th of October and now it has entered its 46th day. So what are the preparations the IDF is making? Because they've said that they're ready to receive the 50 hostages from Hamas, and what we have also heard that they are preparing hospitals to receive the hostages who must have gone through a lot of torture in these days. So please update us, please take us through all the arrangements that Israel government is making to receive these hostages and what are the preparations for them.
See, Nikita, right now we are reporting from the south of Israel. It's the armistice agreement line that divides the Israel state from the Gaza Strip, and we continue to report from the ground zero as the Israel side has entered into a ceasefire agreement with the Hamas side, ensuring the release of more than 50 prisoners, the hostages that are still in the captivity of Hamas, that will be released in the next 4 days. However, it is yet to be ascertained by the Israel authorities that from when this ceasefire agreement will be implemented. There has been only a word from the Israel side that they have agreed to the ceasefire, but there are the statements that are expected to be released in a short while from Qatar, the United States, and also the Hamas side, because what the Israel side has said in its statement, they marked no mention of the release of the Palestinians who are inside the jails of Israel, and also the pause that will be taking place in the south, and also the extent, the additional humanitarian assistance that will be sent inside the south of Gaza from the Rafah crossing. So now a detailed statement is expecting either from the Qatar side or from the side of the United States that will be divulging more details of the agreement. But as we have been reporting from the armistice line of agreement since early morning, the sun is yet to come out in Israel. But yes, the development that has been shared at 3:30 in the morning by the Prime Minister's office, that the Prime Minister in the late night meeting on the Wednesday have agreed that there will be ceasefire. Now coming to the situation on ground, right now we are reporting from the armistice agreement line, and the area that you see is the outskirts of the Gaza city, the Jabalia camp, the Shuti camp, those areas that have been actively targeted by the Israel Defense Forces. But now once the seizure of the operations will be ordered, that means the ceasefire will be conveyed to the authorities of the Israel Defense Forces, only then there will be a halt, because we have not witnessed that there is a ceasefire as of now, because the strikes from the Israel side are still taking place inside the Gaza Strip. That means that the IDF has not been conveyed, and probably an official order will be issued by the Israel authorities in a short while from now that will ensure that there is an on-ground following of the ceasefire agreement. Now coming to what will happen, it is expected that 3 US citizens, including a girl, who are those among those 239 people who have been held hostage by the terrorists of Hamas, they will be released in the first batch. So among the 50, there will be 3 Americans as of now, the reports that are emerging. However, the White House is yet to confirm this development. Now coming to the other negotiations, there are roughly 150 of the Palestinians who are in jails of Israel that will too be released. But this number and the name of these those Palestinians who are in the jail of Israel are yet to be shared either by the Hamas side or by the authorities of Israel, because that is going to be very important. Yesterday, the government spokesperson of Israel, during his press conference, conference said that if the families of those victims, those who have been murdered by those in the jails of Israel and are being released as part of hypothetical, he said, deal that is taking place with the Hamas, they can approach the Supreme Court within 24 hours. That means there is a certain exchange of prisoners that is going to take place, and it has to be seen how things actually pan out. And after 4 days of the ceasefire, after release of 50 civilians, if all goes well, there will be an additional single-day truce on the release of every 10 hostages. So if everything goes well, that is least expected, because in these kind of a dicey situations when the terror groups are being dealt, then there will be a complete ceasefire of roughly 23 days if everything goes well and all the hostages are released. And 23 days of the ceasefire means a lot when these kind of wars are taking place after 46 days of intense gunfighting, because the Israel also knows that 46 days of war has brought them nothing. They have not been able to make sure that the military pressure can ensure the safe return of their hostages inside the territory of Gaza, and that's why the decision was taken that the negotiations that are being done by the Qatar, Egypt and also the United States, that be worked upon, that be agreed upon by the side of Israel. But yes, there is an internal uprising also against the Benjamin Netanyahu. Reason being that his own cabinet ministers, 3 cabinet ministers, have voted against him, against this decision of the Benjamin Netanyahu. That means that the National Security Minister Ben Gvir is heading those who are against this deal, and they say that this might give a chance of revival to the terrorists of Hamas. So now it has to be seen how the decision of the ceasefire, releasing the prisoners of Hamas, that be taken by the people in Israel. But for now, the ceasefire has been agreed, but not conveyed at least to the ground commanders that are still carrying out operations inside the Gaza Strip.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gulsimran, for this detailed report in the latest development in Israel versus Hamas war, which has entered its 46th day now, and now talks of ceasefire are there in the air, and soon at least 50 of the hostages are expected to be released from Hamas captivity. Moving on.